It was 3 or 4 years in to the plant. We had become our own 501(c)(3), and we were doing, at the time, missional communities were hot. So it was like serve, justice-oriented in the city. But what we quickly realized at that point was that our church, half our church, like, weren't Christians. Legit. Like, we just had, Portland is so justice oriented that we just had people who were like, I want to come and participate. And they weren't like, I'm kind of being cheeky, but we had people who just weren't disciples of Jesus. And that somehow we caught on to that pretty early on and thought, this isn't the way. Like, we want to be furnaces of like God's presence that lead then to justice. So we hit pause on everything and we just blew up missional communities and instead said, we're going to use the vehicle of communities at Bridgetown to be furnaces of formation. We'll start with, instead of prioritizing mission, we'll prioritize discipleship, and out of discipleship will flow mission. So that sounds really clean. It wasn't. At the same time, we were trying to figure out how would we actually see the most. We asked the question because John Mark's very jugular. So he was like, how will we see the most formation possible? And it was through teaching on Sundays and through formations in throughout the week with really in-depth curriculum that centered around disciplines. So we took a bunch of stuff. You'll hear him say this in different avenues, but we took a lot of stuff from Dallas Willard. He had written something called the Curriculum for Christ-Likeness. We looked at that. We began to adapt it to what it would look like over a 5-year journey in our community. And we highlighted and emphasized 9 practices that we were going to say were core to people being formed. And we said, if you're part of Bridgetown Church, you are part of a Bridgetown community. So we did no ministries for a few years, nothing. We offered nothing extra, no young adults ministry, no youth ministry, nothing. We only did Bridgetown communities. And we said, this is how you're part of Bridgetown Church. Because we knew if we wanted to see formation discipleship happen, it would have to come through a community. Because oftentimes spiritual formation, and we knew this too from our own experience, you can grow to a certain degree vertically, but something changes when you're working it out people to people. It's how we were meant to receive and be formed.